sure this link works. Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my stream. Can everybody hear me and see me? What's up, Josh? What's up, Andrew? What's up, Kitty? Just woke up watching A Bug's Life. That's the dream. I haven't seen A Bug's Life in a long time. I don't even remember the plot of the movie, I don't think. Hello, Mary. So yeah, it's kind of been a while since I last streamed. I think several weeks, if not several months. But that's fine. I keep saying that I'm gonna get back on track to weekly stream, and I intend to do that. But you know, the holidays are just kind of weird. I don't know, during the holidays, I'm always in just kind of like relaxation and leisure mode, I guess. I don't want to do work, and I don't want to follow the schedule. I just kind of want to watch YouTube videos and play video games and stuff. But we'll get back on track in 2020. I will say sorry to the chat for all the wrestling questions in advance. So actually, I'm a little bit behind when it comes to wrestling. I did go to SmackDown. SmackDown came to my city like about a month ago, and I went, and it was awesome. Is a tuna salad actually a salad? In fact, what constitutes a salad? I'd say a tuna salad is a salad. You can also put tuna salad on top of a regular lettuce salad, which is good. There's a lot of different types of salads, though. JNB, what's up? I'm well. Who's your favorite Disney princess, and why is it Dot from A Bug's Life? See, I don't even remember that character. But anyway, as you can tell, I haven't put out a video this month, which is kind of sad. But again, it's sort of like the whole holiday thing. My goal is to make up for it by putting out 2 videos in January, and I would like to just put out more videos in general. But there's sort of just a matter of making them and coming up with all the ideas, and because I don't know, I'm sort of at a point now where I just kind of just want to try different things and just see what happens. YouTube is weird because when you make YouTube videos, you have to be like, you basically have to make videos that that your audience wants to see, and B, that YouTube wants, basically that the YouTube algorithm will reward. And it's kind of stressful sometimes because you're always like, is this really going to perform well? But at this point, I just want to just make videos and we'll see what happens. The only thing that's kind of a worry is if, for example, if I make videos and they don't get any views, companies may not want to sponsor me anymore. And the sponsors, they pay pretty well. So we'll have to see. Hopefully the stuff that I make still gets a decent amount of views. But I do want to just try other things. I mean, I probably will still make similar videos, but sort of expand the topics, basically. I want to do more pop culture stuff, I think. Maybe more philosophical type stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't want to be like known as a political YouTuber, really. And I don't know if I am known as that, but I talk about politics a lot and I talk about social issues a lot. In fact, that's kind of mostly what I talk about on this channel. But I don't know, it's pretty annoying. And the political community, like every political community on the internet, is super obnoxious. And it's just like I don't identify with that at all. I could go for a salad right now, to be honest. I'm a big fan of salad. A lot of people say they don't like salad, but I fucking love salad of all types. I eat salad all the time. I don't really know what kind of philosophical stuff, but just talking about broader ideas, and I think that I add little aspects of that to videos already, but I don't think I rarely make like full videos about like philosophical concepts or like ethics or morals or metaphysical ideas and stuff like that. And it might be interesting to talk about, but I don't know if people would like it or would want that, to be honest. Unless, I mean, I guess I could figure out a way to make it interesting, but again, just requires coming up with good ideas, which is hard sometimes. And I'm not even sure if I could come up with many good ideas, but it might be worth a try. It's something that I'm interested in. Also, I talked about this in the last video, and you can probably guess by the text that's on the screen, but I finally got a join button on my YouTube channel, which is pretty cool. The join button is just a way to support the channel. You click join, you become a member, and It's kind of like Patreon. It's like YouTube's alternative to Patreon, basically. But it's pretty cool. So that's a thing now. And unlike Patreon, when you become a member, you get emotes and you get a member badge, kind of like Twitch. Lots of channels recently got it because it's out of beta. Yeah, I mean they have been rolling it out in waves for a while. Uh, yeah, PayPal definitely takes the least amount of cut between Patreon and YouTube, or when compared to Patreon and YouTube. But it's the hardest to promote because it's not integrated into any of the platforms. So I usually just promote the stuff that's easier to promote. Also, I think PayPal, they get suspicious if you start receiving a whole bunch of money. So probably best to keep it low. Prince Asanius, and of course there's Super Chat. There is Super Chat. Thank you for the $2 Super Chat. Yeah, Super Chat's fine. Just whatever you want to do. Super Chat is cool because it gives you the nice, cool, colorful message that pops up. That's kind of the main reason to get Super Chat. If you don't care about the colorful message, I wouldn't do Super Chat because they take a pretty hefty cut of it, but it's fine. I'm not complaining. And I think it's cool to have the colorful messages in the chat. But you know, any smart content creator has multiple ways for people to support them. I have Patreon, I have member, I have PayPal, I have Super Chat, I have merch. So there's all kinds of things you can do. You can read the description of the video for several ways you can support. Would you prefer if I transition to a member? Not necessarily. You do whatever works for you. I get your I mean, it's basically the same thing. And like you said, PayPal doesn't take as high of a cut, so it's fine. I think if I was like pushing my PayPal super hard, I've just heard a lot of things where PayPal, if you're getting like tens of thousands of dollars a month or something on PayPal might like audit you and try to figure out what's going on. But obviously I'm nowhere near that, so I don't think I have anything to worry about. What'd you get for Christmas? Anything cool? I got a singing and dancing poo emoji doll. I don't really get Christmas gifts that much anymore. A lot of my friends, they know that I started playing D&D over the past year, so I've got a lot of D&D themed gifts. Got a D&D poster. I think I can show it to you actually. I got a D&D t-shirt. It's got a D20 on it. Earlier, it wasn't really a Christmas gift, but a few months ago, I got a very large tankard, like a fucking beer stein. It's pretty awesome. Beyond that, I got a pretty nice non-stick pan, which I needed because I didn't have one. Uh, Cooking eggs without a non-stick pan is a pain in the ass, so I'm glad I have that now. And I got like some body wash and shampoo and things of that nature, which I also appreciate. That's pretty much what I got. This is a poster I got. I'm gonna try to put it up on the wall in the background of my videos, but I didn't figure out. It says, in this house, we roll for initiative. We fight monsters. We use charisma. We fail and we succeed. We help our party. We know it's not over till you fail. Your death saved. We are fighters and wizards and thieves and gunslingers and rangers and druids and clerics and paladins, because in this house we roleplay. So yeah, a friend got me that one. Riley Allen, thank you for the $5. Who are you rooting for in the college football national championship? I know you rock that Bama flag, so I was curious who you wanted to lose more. Well, let me tell you something. I'm there are very few teams that I just like outright hate just as a team. You know, I think it's part of the being a sports fan is that there's just kind of teams that you hate almost to an irrational extent. And I have teams like that. Like I hate USC and I hate Notre Dame. I'm sure all the kids who play for those teams are fine, but just the programs and the fans and stuff is kind of obnoxious to me. And I understand that people feel the same way about Alabama. But I don't have a lot of the same animosities towards like other SEC teams that a lot of Alabama fans have. And this boy Joe Burrow has really like won me over because he's so good. I think he's one of the best players we've seen in a long time. So he's kind of won me over. So I'm kind of rooting. I'm more rooting for Joe Burrow, but since he plays for LSU, I'm kind of rooting for LSU. But the boy's so good. Like sometimes I just a team or a player is just so good you can't really help but respect it. Adam Apple, you have my last $4. Buy me ramen one day. Well, if I'm ever in a position to do that, I certainly will. Thank you for the super chat. Another thing about super chat is it guarantees that your message will be read. Because my chats are fairly, I don't get like thousands of people watching, so I get to a lot of the messages, but I do miss many of them also. So super chat guarantees that your message will be seen and read. What's your opinion on the legal smoking age changing from 18 to 21 federally? Also, Merry Late Christmas and Preemptive New Year. Merry Late Christmas to you. Also, I am perfectly okay with the smoking age changing from 18 to 21. I think really you have to set it, it's an arbitrary standard, but you have to set some standard as to what counts as an adult. I do believe 100% that adults should be able to make choices for themselves, as long as those choices don't harm other people. If the choices that they make harm themselves, that's fine with me. It's probably not a super wise choice, but I think you should be free to make unwise choices. And I'm okay with that standard being 21. Everybody, this is like a meme at this point. Everybody always says, well, yeah, if you're going to make the smoking age 21, you should make joining the military also 21, which is like, yeah, maybe. If you think that you have to be an adult to make the informed decision to join the military, which might be true, but you also have to keep in mind that in almost every case, a parent can sign off for a person who is not an adult, and that should apply to the military also, and it probably would apply in almost every case. But yeah, I do think there should be a standard. So if what you're doing requires someone to be an adult, then um, it should be apply across the board. I don't think the military, or at least from the military's perspective, I don't think that they're arguing that you need to be an adult to join the military. But maybe you disagree. Star Honey, but thank you for the $1 super chat. Maybe you already missed this, but what's your favorite D&D class? I don't really have enough experience with all of the classes to really know. Of the classes that I've seen, or I've only played like 3 classes total, and only one class have I played for like an extended period of time. And I played fighter, and I played cleric, and I've played um, uh, rogue very briefly. Um, of those, cleric is sort of the most interesting. Just but I don't know. I really don't know. Did I forget to ask about the fact? I forgot to ask about the fact leftist Twitter lost their mind after you did your last tweet thread. Did you ever device to chime in on the backlash? No, I don't really talk. I don't really like get involved in long form discussions on Twitter anymore. But I dropped my email address in the thread for people to message me, and that's always open to me. This is sort of my test, um, and it's worked pretty well for me so far. Um, but a lot of times people don't really give a shit about having a discussion with you. They just want to yell at you and troll and be rude. And my test for that is I give people many avenues to message me and to talk to me. Um, the two best ones right now are Curious Cat and email. And my Curious Cat and email are always all over the place. And I noticed that if even though you give people those things, most of them never message you because they're not really interested in having a one-on-one conversation. They just want to publicly berate you and stuff like that. But I did drop my email address, and I did get some emails about it, and they were mm, pretty much mostly pretty pleasant emails, just asking questions about my views, which is interesting, because which I will give people credit for. A few people did, but most people didn't. But yeah, I have no interest in like arguing with people on Twitter. I try really hard not to do that anymore. In fact, I don't even read replies that much. Like I'll tweet something and I'll read like the first 4 replies and then never look at it again. Because Twitter is super stressful and depressing, and so I don't read it anymore. But like I said, I have email. I'm happy to talk about it. You can get married, have children, rent an apartment, drive, get a job, buy a firearm, and be able to vote age of 18. Yeah, I think it should be a standard. Like I said, if the idea is you should be an adult, then what counts as an adult should be consistent. I agree with that. I'm okay with making what counts as adult 21 though. That's what I'm saying. Um, I don't know how many 18-year-olds y'all know, or if any of y'all are 18, but I have a hard time calling an 18-year-old an adult. I barely can call a 21-year-old an adult, but you got to draw the line somewhere. Am I gonna watch the Seahawks game? Probably not. I have not watched a single NFL game this year. Firearms is a whole different thing for me because I don't think anyone should have firearms. But you know, what are you gonna do? I guess if people are gonna have firearms, then they should probably be adults. But again, in most cases, parental consent can overrule age restrictions, and that's going to apply to everything that you mentioned, including getting married, having firearms, getting an apartment, etc. I don't really it's hard. I don't really think of things in terms of being mature enough because I don't think probably anybody is actually mature enough until they're like 28 or something. But that's a little bit unreasonable to make it so that you can't, you know, you can't buy cigarettes until you're 28. Like I think once you're in your 20s, that's when it's like, okay, you. This is when you start to learn how to be a person. It's gonna take you a long time to actually learn that, but this is when you start. So, I'm okay with that sort of line. How do you do the Iron Man Infinite in Marvel 2? I don't know. I never played Marvel 2 competitively. I played it a lot casually with friends, but that was before I got really, really competitive about fighting games. So I don't know any of the strategies for that game. Why not change the legal age of what we consider to be an adult 21, and then at least we'd be closer to our brains being more developed? Yeah, I mean, and it's easier for me to say because I'm uh, many, many years older than that. But I don't know, it makes sense to me. Do I play Smash? I mean, yeah. Like I was going to say, actually, the game that got me into competitive fighting games is Melee, and the game that I'm the best at, or the series that I'm the best at, is definitely Smash. Oh, is that Wes? Um, have I ever thought of doing a gaming channel? I actually have a gaming channel that I don't put content on. I'd like to make a gaming channel, but I don't know exactly what kind of content I would put on there. I think I would probably end up being like competitive type stuff. Um, but I feel like it's hard to make a gaming channel that people care about because there's so much gaming content on YouTube. Like what would I make that would be different? I could see if if there was a game that I was like really good at, like world class at, then maybe I could make stuff about that. But I'm not very good at most games. And the games that I'm good at, I'm just like kind of good at. But, for example, like I'm pretty good at Smash Brothers, but why would anybody watch my Smash Brothers channel when you can watch like Leffen or Zero or like, all the pro players that are so good? So I don't know. But I might just do it just for fun and just make like some, because when I did have my gaming channel, I was just kind of messing around and just making silly videos like NBA Jam videos and Silent Hill 1 videos where I just kind of play through the game. And I think I would just kind of like get drunk and just comment on the game while I was playing it. So I don't know. Yes, I don't think I could ever be a streamer, like a gaming streamer. It's pretty exhausting. But I could like make content, like make a video every week or something. But I would like to like offer something to the audience, whether it's information or entertainment or just a display of how to play the game well, things like that. I'm kind of in a position where I could transfer an audience because I already have an audience. So some people would watch just because it's me, but I don't think many people would watch just because it's me. Because I think there's only a small percentage of my audience that actually cares about that. Random question, but what makes you feel videos good enough to release? Um, I'm in a YouTube rut wondering where to go with my channel. What makes me feel a video's good enough to release? Well, I don't know. That's hard to say because basically, I like my videos are scripted. I don't know what kind of videos you make, but so I spend a lot of time writing my videos, and if I finish, not 95% of the time, if I finish the script, then I'm going for it. But there's been many times where I started a script and I'm like, I don't really want to make this, to be honest, and then I just scrap it. But that said, I've released a lot of videos that I don't like. And that's sort of the thing. Like, if you're gonna be a YouTuber, you just sometimes gotta put something out there, um, and just move on. Like, just make something. Sometimes it might not be exactly what you want it, but it's out there. Move on to the next thing. Sometimes I think just finishing stuff is just a good practice, especially if you're gonna be a YouTuber. Thing about being a content creator of any kind really is you just got to make stuff. You have to get into the habit of consistently making stuff. If you're trying to like build an audience and all kinds of stuff. If you're the type of person that's okay with just making a video like once every 6 months, whenever you feel the inspiration, then go for it. But if you're trying to like build an audience and possibly be successful, um, you just need to get into the habit of consistently making stuff, even if that stuff is mediocre. That's just how it works. And you never know. Sometimes the stuff that you don't like ends up being stuff that people connect with. That's just how it goes sometimes. And sometimes the stuff that you think is brilliant, nobody watches. That's just how it works. That's just how it goes. But I just try to make stuff. And also it helps to have deadlines. I don't know if you have any reason to have a deadline, but if you tell yourself, okay, I have to make a video this month, no questions asked, sometimes you just have to make something. I'm not saying just throw out some garbage, like try to work on it, but still. Jason, thank you for the $5 super chat. Some YouTubers feel pressure to create and get exhausted. Do you feel that way with some of your content? How do you fight it? Ever delete stuff? Um, do I feel that way with some of my content? Do I feel pressure to create? Yeah. Um, because kind of what I was saying before, for the most part, I have told myself that I have to make a video every month. As noted, I haven't made a video this month, but it's fucking Christmas. Come on. Nah, but In general, I put pressure on myself because I think that's just something you're supposed to do as a YouTuber, is be consistent with making videos. And I already kind of feel bad because I've only been making one video a month, but hopefully people have realized that those videos are much more in depth than they used to be. They're not like the 5 to 7 minute videos that I used to make. Like, I try to make a video with a lot of information and put more production value into it. And that's why they're only down to once a month. But I would like to make more. Have I ever deleted a video? The only time I would take down a video is if I totally disagree with the video. Like, if I look back and I'm like, actually, this is completely off base. I'm taking this down. Or if it's just a video that didn't it didn't start the conversation that I intended for it to start. Or if I feel like I didn't express myself the correct way and people didn't understand what I was trying to say, or people are responding to it in a way that is not what I was going for. And yeah. And there's only like 2 or 3 cases where that has happened. But yeah, I think people should feel pressure. For me specifically, like, this is my job. I know that doesn't apply to everybody, but this is what I do for a job. So I think it is healthy for me to feel pressure because it's my job and I should want to do it well. So yeah. And if you want YouTube to be your job, you should treat it like it's your job. And I know that's hard for some people to do, but that's just how it is. With your videos, do you prefer to start a conversation and make your opinion about an ongoing conversation known? I do both. It depends. Pretty much my whole channel is about starting conversations. But sometimes the way I do that is by adding my opinion to the mix. Like, like I made the video about LeftTube not too long ago. That was a conversation that people were already having, and I just added my opinion to the mix. And I think that it added more conversation. I saw people discussing my video on Reddit and Twitter and stuff like that. And that's what I want. But sometimes I just have a thought that I want to start conversations, get people thinking about. And I think that's a major theme of my channel. And I hope to express that theme even more going forward. Honestly, I don't know if this helps, but I watch your videos because you made them more than the content you're talking about. I like to get your take. What do you mean I made them more than the content I'm talking about? Like, I just add sort of my opinion to the existing topic. How do you feel about some of the guilt by association that we sometimes see in public shaming? For instance, Ellen DeGeneres and George Bush. Well, I mean, guilt by association is pretty dumb. I've talked about this a lot. I don't even know really what to say. I just feel like this is kind of like a Twitter meme. I feel like most reasonable people understand that just because... I think most people understand that it's unreasonable to shit on someone because they have not chosen to hate the person that you hate. It's pretty silly. I feel like that's pretty obviously silly, but... Twitter always has to go to the extreme on everything. They have to turn everything up to 11, as they say. And I have to make sure that I don't. I have to remember that Twitter doesn't represent society. Twitter is just this echo chamber of nonsense a lot of the time. But it does seem like it does seem to be spilling out onto other platforms and sometimes even out into IRL. But hopefully we can keep it contained. But yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to ask someone, like, you know, in some cases it's fair to be like, well, I think it's interesting that you're very friendly with this person because they've seemed to have publicly done or said some things that you have been, you know, outspoken about. But again, like, people are complicated. Really, the answer to a lot of these questions is that people are complex, people are complicated, and I don't know why that's so hard for people to understand. I don't know George W. Bush. I don't know what kind of person he is. So I have no comment on whether or not someone should be his friend. I've seen the things that he's done, but people are complicated, 100%. It is possible. It is possible for someone to have horrible ideas and also be a good person, because people are complex. But regardless of any of that, I would never presume to tell someone who they're allowed to be friends with. Like, that's so presumptuous and arrogant. Oh, I'm just realizing. Yeah, okay. I didn't read the. I guess the syntax of it confused me. You watch the videos because I made them, not because of the content specifically. I get it now. Sorry. Well, that's cool. I appreciate that 100%. And but I don't know how many people actually fit that mold. I feel like most people don't do that. Um, I don't really have like the cult of personality that a lot of other YouTubers have, which is, you know, it's fine. Rule number one: never read the comments on Twitter. I break this rule all the time and constantly regret it. Yep, that's why I don't read Twitter. Like I was saying before, I don't read Twitter anymore. Really, I read a few replies, but that's about it. Um, I deleted Twitter off of my phone. I have Twitter blocked on my computer, and I engage with Twitter by going to TweetDeck. And on TweetDeck, you can change what appears on the page. So you can disable all of the feeds and replies and notifications. So all I have on my TweetDeck right now is DMs and my tweets. That's all I can see when I go to TweetDeck. Can't see notifications, can't see replies, can't see the home feed. Just DMs and my tweets. So, and I can sometimes, if I want to know what people are saying, I can click on a tweet to see the replies, but I rarely do that. It's kind of a double-edged sword. with the whole cult of personality thing though, because on one extent it's like really useful for people to just like really admire you and respect you. I mean, it's awesome, but it's also like cool because you can just kind of make whatever you want and people will enjoy it. But it's also dangerous because it can get into like hero worship territory. It can get into like it can get to the aspect where if they start to hold you to a standard, and if you don't meet that standard, then they've put so much emotional stock in you that it can become very distressing for them. And we've seen this happen to YouTubers before, so it's kind of a weird double-edged sword. Yeah, parasocial relationship is the term. And we've like I said, we've seen this. We've seen YouTubers. It just seems like everything they make blows up because they are loved by their audience, which is cool. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. But if they do something that just enough people don't like, it they just completely dog and trash the person. And honestly, I don't know which one I prefer. Mash push block. That's a good name. I just noticed that. Oh, by the way, thanks, Khadijah, for the comment earlier. I get stuck in a corner, and that's all I do. But yeah, I don't. I'm in a weird position because I'm a YouTuber that has been successful enough to begin to make a career out of it, but I also am a pretty small slash medium creator, and I still am, trying to build an audience, and I don't have the same influence and cult of personality as a lot of the other video essayists or whatever. So I'm in a weird sort of midpoint position, I think. I don't get as many views as, the other essayists. Um, but all I know how to do is just try to keep working on my content and making it better. That's literally the only thing that has ever worked for me, so that's what I'm going to work on. If I come up with other stuff, then we'll try that. I was for a while I was actually a pretty big fan of PewDiePie, but I feel like he just cares so much about his edgy persona, and I'm not really into fucking edgelords. Like, I'm just too old for that. Like, I'm just not the target audience for that. But um, for a while, I was actually a big fan of his. Like, I think he's pretty funny. I think he's, you know, eh, he seems like he's probably a nice guy, but he just seems to care so much about maintaining this aura of being, edgy comedy guy. And it's like, okay, man. But I haven't watched in a while, so maybe he's shifted things up. It just started raining here. It's been raining here for like 2 weeks straight. You're 19, you have the same frustrations with him. Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe I don't know. I guess it just depends on the person. But I think, that generally appeals to younger people. Maybe even younger than 19, honestly, is probably the target audience for that. Like probably like 14, 15-year-old people are the ones that are actually watching that kind of stuff. Speaking of parasocial relationships, I've also always found the idea of meme pictures with actual people really weird. I'm talking about things like overly attached girlfriend and stuff. Suddenly a girl has that title to live with and it spiraled out of control. Um, yeah, I mean, that's kind of weird. Especially if you don't want it. But from what I understand, I don't know the full story, but from what I understand, the overly attached girlfriend specifically actually built a pretty solid career off of that. And she became a YouTuber, and it was actually a pretty good channel. But she did recently quit YouTube, and I think she was having issues with like anxiety and pressure and stuff. I don't know if it had to do with the meme, but she did find a way to leverage that into a career, which I thought was cool. But the overly attached girlfriend, that was content that she made. It wasn't like someone just grabbed her picture off the internet. I know this is a very specific example, and you were just giving an example, but that specific example is like she made that content purposefully. Like she was trying to be funny. But obviously that doesn't apply to every single meme like that. But yeah, I think it is kind of weird if someone just pulls a random old picture of you and then you just become a meme. I feel like it would generally it's harmless. Sometimes sometimes it can be pretty rude though. But that's just the internet. That's the world we live in. What happened in July of this year that your views blew up? Well, what did I release in July? It was probably the Sam Harris video. What year or what month? But when did I make that? So, hold on. That was December. Maybe it was the colorism video? I'm trying to look at the videos that I made. So yeah, around that time I made a string of videos that got a bunch of views. Starting with the colorism video, and I honestly 100% do not understand why the colorism video blew up. But it did. It got almost 200,000 views, which is cool. But it just seems it doesn't seem like something that people would be that interested in. I like the video, but it's just weird to me. The colorism video came out like in June, and then I made the LeftTube video, which also got a lot of buzz. So those two videos back to back, they both got a whole lot of views. And just before that, I made the cultural appropriation video was a few months before that, but I guess it was those two videos around that time. But I had like a lot of peaks over the year 2019. late 2018, late 2018, and then throughout 2019, I had a lot of very big videos, which was really cool. I think it started, I think, with the Simpsons video. I made the video called "The Simpsons Lazy Response to the Apu Controversy." I think that was probably like September of last year or something. That was in April of 2018, so that was actually a while ago. But that video got almost 100,000 views, and then after that, I just went on a string of like really big videos, which was cool. Sam Harris video came out. Straight Dude Logic got like 200,000 views. The Tina Fey video got like 300,000 views, and the Culture Appropriation. So yeah, I had a string of big videos. How do you choose a topic for a video? Do you try to take ideas from fans, or is it more of a gut feeling based on recent events? I don't know. I just try to think of stuff that would make a good video. It's hard to say how I choose. Stuff just sort of clicks in my head. It's like, yeah, that'd make a good video. And sometimes I have to actually start writing it. And sometimes I start writing it and I'm like, actually, I'm not really feeling that. And then I just scrap it. But I just think of things that I think would make a good video, based on the scope of my channel, and I'm trying to sort of expand the scope of my channel a little bit. But in general, I try to talk about social issues, and just kind of like social commentary. And I've been adding a lot more pop culture commentary in there. But if I'm talking about pop culture, I'm usually talking about it through a lens of social justice. And I also try to make videos about stuff that I don't think people are talking about that much. So that's also a thing that I think about. I don't want to just make a video about something that I don't want to just rehash the same talking points everyone has been saying. Like, I don't really want to do that. I don't talk about current events or recent events that much. If you look at my channel, almost none of my videos are about the news or current events. Maybe the last one that was close to that was the LeftTube video. I was actually talking about a conversation that was currently being had. But in general, that's not really what I do. Need to capitalize on it and keep making more stuff. Well, I intend to keep making more stuff. Thank you, Cyril the Wolf. Thank you, Andy. How long are my dreads now? I don't know. I haven't measured them, but they're pretty much down to the end of my back now. Thoughts on Destiny? Do you have a more specific question? I have a lot of thoughts on Destiny, and I don't really feel like saying all of them. Do you still play WoW? Yeah. Right now, I've just been leveling characters in anticipation for the next expansion. I haven't been doing anything serious. Do you think your drive to make videos is more from morals or wanting to teach? Well, my main drive to make videos is just because I'm a creative person that just likes creating things. But I don't know what you mean, like from morals, but I think that there's certain concepts that aren't shared enough on YouTube and on the internet and in life in general. And I think that's part of the reason why I make stuff, is because I want to be a voice that's sharing certain ideas, especially within political social topics. I think there's a lack of empathy and compassion and thoughtfulness and critical thinking. So those are ideas that I wish to spread. Do you know Hunter Avalon? I have heard of Hunter. Isn't that like that super conservative dude? Yeah, I've heard of him. I haven't like like watched his content. Maybe Destiny's economic positions. Do you agree with him broadly on capitalism? I think I do agree with him broadly on capitalism. I don't think I probably don't agree with every single specific point, but he's in general a social democrat, and so am I. Thoughts on reducing the voting age? Um, I don't. I guess I don't have that many thoughts. I think 18 is fine. I could see maybe reducing it to like 16. I feel like it would make sense for the voting age to be the same age at which people start working. But I don't know. I don't think it's a huge priority that we reduce the voting age. Oops. But I'm gonna try to going back on what I was talking about before. I'm gonna try to make more videos. I'm gonna try to make more than one video a month. Maybe like a shorter video and then a longer video, or something like that. Big question, but do you think the rise of extremism is coming to a breaking point? Do you think the pressure is going to keep rising? Um, I don't know. The pressure is going to keep rising for sure, and then it will probably reach a breaking point. But I have no idea what the timeline of that is. Can you challenge John Doyle to a debate? I don't know who John Doyle is, but I don't debate people, really. It's not really a thing that I'm interested in doing. Doug, Rugrats, or Ren and Stimpy? Rugrats. I think when I was a kid, I would probably say Doug, but as an adult, Rugrats is clearly like the best show. It's pretty. It's like genius, pretty much. Doug is pretty obnoxious. The main character, like when I was the age of the main character, I related to the character, but now the character seems very like pathetic and obnoxious to me. Ren and Stimpy is like Ren and Stimpy's pretty good, but it's like relax, Ren and Stimpy. We get it. Rugrats to me is just a brilliant show. Like, it's got social commentary. It's funny. The art style's cool. It's great. Hey TJ1J, I'm going to watch her scream later because I'm going to 7-Eleven. And also, I'm about to be 17 this year. Congratulations. I remember when I was 17. I saw a study that deduced that both extremes, left and right, are both essentially unwilling to admit that they're wrong, even look at evidence that suggests it. Yeah, well, I think that that's just a human thing. I don't think that's an extremist thing. People in general do not like to admit that they're wrong, and to the extent that we ignore evidence that proves that we're wrong, we're all pretty susceptible to cognitive biases. I think that extremists have a specific type of biases that they go for. Like this happens all the time. Um, like I noticed, back when I used to have discussions with, right leaning reactionaries, they're like they're very idealistic. Like they sort of believe that their ideas are just as valuable as facts and can be surrogates for facts. It's very interesting. Like you can show them a study that proves that they're wrong, but they think that their idea should be considered equally to the study that you showed them. And that was always very interesting. Like unironically. Like it sounds pretty silly when you say it out loud, but unironically there are many people that sort of essentially feel that way. And I find on the left what I see a lot is this sort of like assumption of if you don't like disagree, then you're just an idiot. They have this sort of like you should already agree with me, and I really don't understand why you don't agree with me. I can't particularly explain why you should. It just seems so clear to me that you should agree with me. So I can only assume that you must be an idiot. That's kind of like what I hear from the left. So they have sort of their own ways of going about it. If I ever got the chance, would I want to make my own children's cartoon? Sure, that might be fun. I don't really want to animate. I'd be happy to write or act on one though. Um, but animation is a pain in the ass. I actually have a friend that is working on an animated show that he wants to pitch to some networks, and he asked me that to maybe be involved, but we'll see. But yeah, that'd be fun. I think writing for any comedy show I think would be funny, even if it's animated. Have I seen Krypton? No. What is that? Is that a show? It is a show. Yeah, I did not know that existed. I'm somewhat out of touch when it comes to TV. I don't watch much TV. I watch a lot of YouTube. I keep saying that I need to watch more TV, but then I never do it. What's up, Yusuf? But yeah, I think it's important for everyone to try to be aware of their biases. Like we should always be in a state of self-reflection and introspection. And I think a lot of people, I think social media discourages that in general. And I think that's how extremism is formed. What do you think of Dr. Umar Johnson? Um, I don't know that much about him. I pretty much have only seen him. I saw like a Breakfast Club interview with him, and I don't know, the stuff that he was saying seemed kind of weird to me. I can't really remember, but I just remember thinking, "Yo, this guy's on some other shit right now." But I don't remember really. What do you think about how people are talking about Gen Z right now? Do you think the sentiments will change over the next few years? I don't guess I know how people are talking about Gen Z. How are people talking about Gen Z? Trying to find the interview with him that I saw. Yeah, there's yeah, I don't want. It's like 40 minutes. I was gonna like look at it if it was a clip, like a shorter clip. But I don't want to like accuse him of that, but there's a lot of these speakers that like are borderline black nationalists,